Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time today to do an unhaul. It's been a really long time since I've done an unhaul on my channel, but since I have redone my shelving in my library room, I have a huge pile of books here that I'm getting rid of, and it's just a big mess in this room. And now that I put books back on the shelves, I have a couple empty boxes that I need to just kind of organize this stuff a little bit and put them in boxes at least to put them away a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to just share with you what I'm unhauling as I go. These books will be going up on Pango whenever I'm going to be here for a little bit, but since I'm going away in a couple days for a long weekend, I don't want to put them up and then not be able to ship them out right away. So I'm just going to box them up now to clean up this area a little bit. I probably will not be talking too much about these books. I'm just going to show you what I put in the box as I go. There's no rhyme or reason to this pile. I was going to try to organize them, but the pile is huge, as I'll show you in this clip. It's just really big. And so I'm just going to go from the top of the pile and work my way down. So we have two that I have duplicates of. Lily's Crossing by Patricia Riley Gift. Didn't realize I had two of those. And Inside the O'Briens by Lisa Genova. I actually think I had three of these. Yeah, here's the other one right here. Inside the O'Briens. I prefer the paperback, and someone sent me a paperback of this. Melinda, I think you sent me a paperback. So I'm getting rid of the two other copies that I have of it. I have this I'd Rather Be Reading by Anne Bogle. I really enjoyed this. It's a little collection of essays about reading and about being a reader, the delights and dilemmas of the reading life. I read it. I thought it was sweet, but I don't need to keep it on my shelves. Heaven is for Real by Todd Burpo. I have read this before a really long time ago. I didn't love it, and so I'm not keeping it. The same with Food Freedom Forever. This is a Whole30 book, kind of more about the philosophy and different things, like a little more details about it, especially after you complete a Whole30 program. So I did do a Whole30, but I didn't read that book, and I don't need to. I have two books by Ken Follett that I'm getting rid of. Actually, I have another one probably in this pile as well. The Evening and the Morning is a prequel to Pillars of the Earth, and then A Column of Fire is book 3, I believe, in the trilogy. Not keeping those. Those are huge. Other series books that I'm getting rid of, City of Stars, I think is book 2 in the Stravaganza series by Mary Hoffman. Oh yeah, here's book 1, City of Masks. I'm not keeping those. Those are the only two I have. I started this one 6 years ago, talked about it in my series I'm breaking up with. That's why it's in that pile, as well as The Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. Not continuing on with that series. Oh, here's the other Ken Follett one, World Without End. It's such a chunker. And since doing that video, a couple of you have said you enjoyed World Without End, but not Column of Fire, I think is what the consensus was, but not enough that I needed to keep it. Okay, I have a really dusty book. This is so dusty. It was on my nonfiction shelf for a long time. It's called The Gratitude Doodle, The Grown-Ups Gratitude Doodle, 1 minute a day that can change your life. I'm just not this kind of a person where you, oh, did I actually do some? Oh, I did too. Where you just kind of doodle in the box and write some things that you're grateful for. Those are the only 2 pages that I did in the whole thing. August 2nd and August 3rd. Oh, I did August 1st. I must have had a goal. I did August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And 5th. And that's it in the whole book. I don't know if I'll be able to sell it, but I could put something like this in a little free library. Someone might really enjoy something like that. I don't know. I'm getting rid of Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. Cute story, but I don't think I'll ever read it again. I have many more middle grade that I loved more. Duplicates that I have are Finding Langston and Leaving Lyman. This is a middle grade series trilogy. The third one is Being Clem, and I have them. They were gifted to me, and I think there was a mistake with the Amazon order. Kim P, if you remember, it was from last summer. But super good books, but I don't need doubles. Another double that I have is Warriors Don't Cry by Melba Patillo Beals. I did read this one during middle grade March. What a fabulous story about the 9 Black students who went to Central High when it was first desegregated. Oof. And how they were treated so awfully. Oh, they were treated so bad. I have The Upstairs Room. I think this was sent to me by someone. I don't even know what this is, by Johanna Rice. But as I did my middle grade shelves, I just have too many middle grade that I really, really, really want to read, and I don't know what this is. It is a Newbery Honor book. I'm not collecting honor books, only Newbery winners. So that one's going to go in my unhaul pile. Same with this, Goldie Vance, The Hocus Pocus Hoax, an original novel by Lilium Rivera. I think that Goldie Vance is a graphic novel series, but this one is not graphic at all. It's just straight novel. I think it's a mystery and it looks cute, but again, I'm not that interested. Here's a couple more middle grade that I don't really know anything about. Salsa Stories by Lulu Delaker. You know what? Some of these came in when I did that. I did a mystery, like buy a bag of books for $20 or something. And a lot of these came in there. The Moore Child, a Newbery Honor book by Eloise McGraw. The Witch's Buttons by Ruth Chu. Getting rid of all of those. The Castle Corona by Sharon Creech. This, I do like Sharon Creech, but this is it's just not one that I've had it on my shelves now from a library sale a couple of years ago and never had the urge to pick it up. So it's gonna go. It's gonna go. All right, here it is. The 4 Outlander books that I own. I'm getting rid of them. Can you believe it? Outlander, which I have read. Dragonfly and Amber is book 2. Read that. Voyager, book 3. Read that. And then Drums of Autumn would be the one that I'm on, I think, book 4. But I'm breaking up with a series, so I'm not going to be reading it. I need to get another box already. Okay. From my Christian fiction shelf, I'm kind of letting go of all these Love Finds You books. There are 5 of them here. Love Finds You in Sugar Creek, Ohio. Love Finds You in Romeo, Colorado. Love Finds You in Camelot, Tennessee. Love Finds You in Snowball, Arkansas. And then Love Finds You in Sisters, Oregon. I have read some of these Love Find You books. They're just cute romances, but I don't have any desire to read them right now, so I'm letting them go. I have this Land of Stories book, which means the rest of them are probably in here, but I am breaking up with the Land of Stories series, and so therefore all the ones on my shelf I'm passing along. Another middle grade that I read was The Care and Feeding of a Pet Black Hole by Michelle Cuevas. It was cute, but not one that I think I would revisit or that stands out to me in any way. Here's the Dragon Slayers book. It's book 1 and 2, I think. The New Kid at School and Revenge of the Dragon Lady. I'm not into dragon books at all, really. Fog Magic by Julia Sawyer. I don't know even what that is. I don't know how it got onto my shelves. The Search for Belle Prater, middle grade, by Ruth White. But this, I learned, is a sequel to Belle Prater's Boy, which I don't have, so I'm not keeping it. This is a duplicate, The Black Cauldron by Lloyd Alexander. I have this series in a different edition, so I'm not keeping this duplicate. Series I'm breaking up with, the Green Glass House series. I don't know where the first one is, but here's Ghosts of Green Glass House and then Blue Crown. Not keeping those ones. Another series, oh, I showed you the first one already, so here's the rest of that series. Conjuring of Light and A Darker Shade of Magic actually is the first one. And I don't have them all in the same edition. This is my copy of The Slave Dancer, which is a Newbery winner, but I found an edition that's not hardback and that's smaller and fits on my shelf better. I don't know if it still has all the illustrations that this one does, but the illustrations are pretty brutal in this. I'm a little nervous to read that when it comes time to it. Yikes. I'm getting rid of this beautiful edition of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It's so pretty, but I think I could sell it on Pango. It is really pretty. Do I need to keep this? No, I don't. It just has fun illustrations all the way through it. I got this off Book Outlet way long time ago. It's so pretty. Off with their heads. Off with their head. But yeah, I think I'm unhauling it. I'm not going to second guess myself. Oh, my leg is falling asleep. Okay. Here's another that I got in a book box. Another mystery, a middle grade mystery. Coop Knows the Scoop by Taryn Souders. Oh, here's the other Green Glass House one by Kate Milford. I liked the first book. I don't think I'll reread it ever, and didn't really have the desire to continue. Saving Lucas Biggs by Marissa de los Santos and David Teague. I'm curious to read something by Melissa de los Santos because she's written quite a bit, and I have a few of her books on my shelves, but I haven't yet read anything by her. The Mysterious Benedict Society. This one is The Extraordinary Education of Nicholas Benedict by Trenton Lee Stewart. I don't know what number this is. I wish series numbered their books, but they don't typically. Some do. Not that one, but I'm breaking up with that series. Here's a random Christina Lauren book, Dating You, Hating You. I've had mixed feelings about Christina Lauren's books, and so I just don't feel like I need to keep that one. I recently read The Art of Racing in the Rain. If you watched that 5-star predictions video, you'll know that this was not a hit for me. It was a Christmas book exchange book, so it's kind of sad that I'm getting rid of it, but I'm not keeping it on my shelves. Same goes for Old Heart by Peter Ferry. This was another one of those Christmas book exchange 5-star predictions that I ended up DNFing. Just found it to be very slow, very, very slow. Another middle grade, Rules for Stealing Stars by Corey Ann Haydu. I think some of these were book outlet additions to my cart to make my cart be a certain amount of money so that I could get free shipping. I don't know. But when I redid my shelves, I was able to pare down quite a bit. I have Lemon, which is the nonfiction, A Global History by Toby Sonneman about lemons. And I got this in the wonderfully kind Kim's Bookmarks and Breadsticks box that she sent me, the first box that she sent me. So I'm leaving this brochure in the book in case somebody is interested in signing up for a book box from them whenever I sell that book. I have a Christian nonfiction completely by Jackie Powell Castro, The Call to Live Fully Surrendered. Yeah, I read it. Doesn't stand out to me, passing it along. A cookbook by Sandy Patty. Those of you who have been listening to Christian music for a really long time, that name Sandy Patty might be familiar to you. This was actually signed by Sandy Patty. I worked at what were those Women of Faith conference? I volunteered one time and I got assigned to her booth. She's a very lovely lady. She's super nice. I hung out with her daughter the whole time, who was also very nice. Okay, my leg is very asleep. Oi! Okay, I know in that series I'm breaking up with video, I said I was breaking up with a series, The Great Library. We have, what's the first? The first one is Ink and Bone. And then I think it's Paper and Fire. And then Ash and Quill, or those might be the other way around. It's 1, 2, and 3. And I think there are 5 now. I go back and forth with this series all the time because I just think they're so beautiful. So I may have to reread the first one and then determine what I'm going to do with them, but I have them here in my unhaul pile, but I'm not convinced. We'll see. We'll see. Another duplicate that I had was All the Ways We Said Goodbye by Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willig, and Karen White. Historical fiction, but I have it in paperback as well, and I kind of prefer paperback. Okay, I have a handful more middle grade here. Beyond the Valley of Thorns, I think, is a duplicate that I have, Patrick Carman. This is The Land of Elion, book 2, but I already have it, so obviously don't need it. Daughter of the Mountains by Louise Rankin. Road to Avonlea, Sarah's Homecoming. Whittington by Alan Armstrong. I think it's from the perspective of a cat, and I'm just not interested. Wildwood. This is a gorgeous cover by Colin Malloy with illustrations by Carson Ellis. I mean, convince me on this one. If you've read it and you think it's a Krista book, it does have some pretty cool illustrations in it. It has deckled edges, which I don't love, but it's this weird, almost a square shape. I don't know. Let me know if you've read it, though. I've got The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. I did really like this, but I don't think I'd read it again. Okay, we might be about halfway done. Ha! I told you this pile is huge! Okay, I just have to change my position for a minute because my legs are asleep. Okay, let's go. The Locksmith's Daughter by Karen Brooks. Beautiful cover, historical fiction, but I have enough beautiful cover historical fictions on my shelves. A duplicate that I have, The Whispered Word. I'm actually probably going to keep this one because Oh no, it has a library. I just read this month, but I already have it in I already have another one. The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin is a book that has come on my shelves and left my shelves and come on my shelves and left my shelves multiple times. It's going. I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. A book I read this summer was Float Plan by Trish Dollar. Liked it, didn't love it, not keeping it. Same with Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. There was a lot that I liked about this, but the ending, no. Done. If the ending had been totally different, I might have kept that one, but I did not like the ending. Snowflower and the Secret Fan, I really enjoyed, but I'm not going to read this one again. Man, there's a scene about foot binding in there. Hoo-wee. It's doozy. The Help by Catherine Stockett. Not going to reread that one. Same with Ready Player One. Read it. Don't want to read it again. And I'm getting rid of this Mockingjay. I don't know if this is a duplicate or what, but it's in the pile, so it's leaving. It's going. I think this was a duplicate. Diane Chamberlain, The Courage Tree. I had more than one of these. Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I mean, I cried when I read it, but I didn't love it, and I don't think I would read it again, and I have no desire to read Fly Away, the sequel, so I think this one's going to go, as well as Homefront. I feel like I just like Kristen Hanna's historical ones more than her contemporaries. I read this one and also was okay. I mean, I probably cried while I read it, but I don't think I would read it ever again. Here's Catching Fire. I knew I had the rest. I don't know if I have actual Hunger Games in here. I have an extra copy of The White Stag. This is a Newbery winner. Shoot the Moon by Billy Letts. Don't know what that one's about. I just had to weed out The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. I have multiple copies of this. I only want to keep one. Same with The Wheel on the School. Multiple copies. That's another Newbery winner. Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. I read it. I don't think I'd read it again. Gonna pass that one along. It was really good, actually. I'm glad that I really liked that one because I was having mixed feelings about Jodi Picoult because I had tried to read one of hers once. I had tried to read some of hers and couldn't ever really get into them very much. So I'm glad that I connected with Small Great Things. I liked that one. I have a library copy of Sea Prayer by Khaled Hosseini. This is a beautiful poetry. It's a book in verse, really, a refugee story with some beautiful watercolor illustrations. Yeah, so nice. But it's a library copy, so I'm not keeping that one. I don't know where I got this. Little Free Library or something? Library book sale, maybe. Whiskey in a Teacup by Reese Witherspoon. Unfortunately, this has been on Pango for a little while and has not been even wish listed by anyone. So maybe people are like not into the Reese anymore. I don't know. It's fun. Some recipes, just like Southern living. Yeah. And then the Ultimate Keto Cookbook, which I found a couple recipes from, but not enough that I need to keep it. This next section is my Book of the Month section. So I have a whole ton of Book of the Month books coming. Some new for a while. Every once in a while I work with Book of the Month and they used to send all of the books, and there are just some that I'm not interested in. Others I've had on my shelves for a really long time. Some I found at Little Free Libraries. Some I even made my Book of the Month and have just changed my mind about them. So here are the ones that I'm passing along. Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour. This is from May of this year. The People We Keep by Allison Larkin from July of 2021. And I'm not telling you what these are about because most of the time I just don't know. This one I heard is just way too long. Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. I have read a couple books of hers and I love them, but this is a chunker. It's only 450 something pages, but people who have read it have said that it's just way too long. So I'm like, I don't need that on my shelf. Song of the Crimson Flower by Julie C. Dow. The Removed by Brandon Hobson. I think those two were in a tri-chapter that I did. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I might be able to be convinced about this one, but I just have so many other Book of the Month that I am more interested in. That's like a New York City book, and I do love New York City. Maybe. The Family by Naomi Krupitsky, about like the mafia. is from November of 2021. The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, I know is super popular right now. This is from June of 2022. I don't know if it's a fantasy that I would get into or not. And then Jamie Ford's The Many Daughters of Afang Moy. I just chose this recently, but then I did the Once Upon a Time book club book box, and they sent this book in a way prettier edition. So I'm going to pass along this duplicate. Oh, there's more. I have The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. I heard mixed things about that one. Book of Night by Holly Black. The Lifestyle by Taylor Hahn. Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson. I did read this one this summer. It was okay. The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. Another copy of Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. Oh no, that's not Book of the Month. Actually, it's just the same size, so it was in with them. A Little Hope by Ethan Joella. Things in Jars by Jess Kidd. Breathless by Amy McCullough. Somebody's Daughter, a memoir by Ashley C. Ford. And Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. So those are all my Book of the Month section of this unhaul. Remember, if you see something that you're like, oh my word, I want that, they will be going up on Pango. That's going to be my project after my trip. One last little section left, and these are all, almost all, I think, Christian fiction. Again, I just kind of weeded out to the ones that I was most interested in keeping or reading. Those are the ones that stayed on my shelf. So these are the ones that are not staying. I did get the bind up of these, I forget what they're called, Women of Grace, maybe, by Francine Rivers. There are 5, I only have 4 of them. There are 5 stories of women that are listed in the genealogy of Jesus. So there's Ruth. This one is Unshaken, the story of Ruth. This was Tamar, which is called Unveiled. This one is Rahab, Unashamed, and Bathsheba, which is Unspoken. And then Mary would be the 5th one that I don't own. But yeah, these are really good. I have read them before. I love Francine Rivers, but I have the bind up now, so I don't need those individual ones. 2 nonfiction are Everybody Always by Bob Goff. I really didn't care for this at all. And then I did like this one, At Home in the World. This is not straight Christian, I guess. It's about this family who travels the world for 9 months and her experience, Tish Oxenreider, her experience about that. But they are a family of faith, so there are faith elements in there as well. Tracy Peterson, House of Secrets. And I don't know if these are part of series. Taming the Wind. Oh yeah, this is Land of the Lone Star Book 3 and Land of the Lone Star Book 2, but I don't have Book 1. So Taming the Wind and Touching the Sky, but I don't have the first book, so why keep them? I have a whole, oh no, I do have Book 1. Chasing the Sun. So that's the whole trilogy. I've got the whole trilogy, but they look like Westerns and I'm just not feeling that right now. I did find 2 more Love Finds You books. So Love Finds You in Daisy, Oklahoma, and Love Finds You in Last Chance, California. 2 more in that kind of romancy, Christian romance series. I found 2 more Book of the Month as well. Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead and A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. We've got An Inconvenient Beauty by Christy Ann Hunter and Prelude for a Lord by Camille Elliott. I think I have read this one, possibly. We've got A Love Like Ours by Becky Wade. Christian romance. And then this looks like a Christian suspense, 2 Reasons to Run by Colleen Coble. I feel like this is a sequel. Yeah, One Little Lie, I think is the first one. And I don't have that, so not going to read it. And then these last books are all by the same author. And I loved, man, back in the day, I loved this author and I loved these books. And it is Dee Henderson. And I have the whole O'Malley series. I don't remember the order of them, but there's Danger in the Shadows, The Rescuer, The Healer, The Protector, The Truth Seeker, The Guardian, and the Negotiator. I think the Negotiator might even be first. It's kind of a found family. I think they grew up maybe in the same foster home or were adopted, but they're kind of like family, found family of some sort. And they all end up being like an FBI negotiator and a firefighter and a lawyer, like all of these high stakes jobs. And we just kind of like follow the family through each of the different siblings' perspective in each book. I really loved them back in the day. Then there were these True Honor and True Valor and True Courage. I think I got a new cover at some point. So that's a little trilogy. And I read those and loved them back in the day. And then Unspoken. But I don't think I will ever reread them. And so they're going. Oh, here's True Devotion. Is that a duplicate? True Valor, True Honor, True Courage. That's part of it. True Devotion. And then The Witness is also by Dee Henderson. Had quite a few of her books. And that is it. Oh man, that's a huge unhaul. The biggest ever all at once, for sure. I do unhaul occasionally, kind of every once in a while, and I just don't show you. But because of the whole library room redo, I had a whole bunch all at once. I don't know if these are even very interesting to watch, but those are the books that are leaving my shelves. And if you saw anything that you're like, oh my word, I want that book, stay tuned to my Pango shop. The link is always in the description. I'll move it up to the top part of the description so that you can find my Pango shop. And it's just a used bookstore. I used to sell on Instagram, and Pango just makes it way easier for me. They do take a little bit of a cut of it, but it makes it easier for me. And so for me, it's worth it. I think I do have, if you spend a certain amount, you get some free shipping as well. So if you found a bunch that you're interested in, yeah, just stay tuned. I'm not sure when those will go up, but hopefully soon. But thank you so much. I would love to chat with you. I guess the thing I really need to know is, should I keep the Great Library series? This is the only, out of all the things I just showed you, this is the only thing I'm questioning, so I probably will end up just keeping it. They do look really pretty. I need the rest of them though. I don't have the whole thing. Anyways, let's chat in the comments below if you saw anything here that you want to talk about, or just anything else. How's your reading going? What have you unhauled lately? Are you someone who unhauls? Do you keep a huge TBR or not? All those things. We can chat about it in the comments down below. I love talking with you down there. It's the best part of this for me, the connection that I have with all of you. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I will talk to you in another video very soon. Bye.